Let me hit you with a truth bomb that'll change how you see everything. The thing that shakes people to their core isn't your anger, your words, or your tears, it's your silence. That piercing, unshakable quiet that screams, "I'm done, and I don't need to spell it out for you." If you're sitting there, heart racing, thinking you need to do something drastic, text them, block them, prove your worth. Stop right there. The most powerful move you can make is no move at all. On WisdomWavesAura, we dive deep into truths like this, and today, I'm breaking down why your silence is their loudest wake-up call. It's not about punishing them. It's about protecting your peace and letting their own minds haunt them in ways you'll never need to explain. Buckle up, because this is going to shift your perspective. Picture this. They're used to you being predictable. They've built a version of you in their head, someone who always forgives, always replies, always sticks around no matter how they act. They're not just attached to you, they're addicted to how reliable you are. They know you'll break your silence eventually, check on them, or show up when they least expect it. But then you flip the script. You go quiet. No texts, no reactions, no explanations, just nothing. That's when their world starts to crack. Not because you left, but because they never thought you would. You didn't just break the connection, you shattered the illusion that they could always come back, no matter what. That's the power of silence. And on WisdomWavesAura, all about owning that power. When you pull back, something wild happens. They feel the shift before they admit it. You don't need to say a single word for them to sense the change. They notice it when their phone doesn't light up with your name. They feel it when their posts don't get a view from you. It hits hardest in those quiet moments when they expect you to reach out, and you don't. They won't admit it at first. They'll act unbothered, post louder, pretend harder, but deep down, your silence creeps in like a shadow. They start checking their phone, waiting, wondering. They feel the void before they ever confess. It's there. That's the magic of doing nothing. It's not about being petty. It's about letting their own expectations unravel them. Subscribe to WisdomWavesAura for more insights on how to take back your power without lifting a finger. Here's where it gets real. Your stillness becomes their storm. Most people expect a reaction: anger, sadness, anything. It reassures them they still matter to you. But when you do nothing, when you're just still, their mind becomes a hurricane. They start asking questions they never wanted to face. Did I push too far? Have I lost them for good? Why aren't they reacting? You don't need to rage or block them. Just stop showing up. Sometimes, the loudest scream is not replying at all. On WisdomWavesAura, we talk about how to harness this kind of energy, how to let your absence speak louder than any argument ever could. It's not about playing games. It's about reclaiming your space and letting them deal with the consequences of their own actions. Time is your secret weapon. At first, they might feel free, like they made the right choice. They think you'll cave, that you'll be back. But the longer your silence stretches, the heavier it weighs. Every day you stay gone sends a message they can't ignore. Every moment you don't respond locks the door they thought they left half open. Time is ruthless. My friend, what they thought they could brush off becomes the only thing they hear. Your silence isn't just loud, it's deafening. On WisdomWavesAura, we dive into how time amplifies your power, turning your quiet into their reckoning. They'll try to distract themselves, but the longer you stay silent, the more your absence becomes their reality. Let's talk about what happens when you become unreachable, not just unavailable, but untouchable. There's a difference. Being gone means they can still text, still stalk your stories, still hold on to hope, but unreachable. That's when your energy is no longer theirs to access. You've healed. You've outgrown them. You're not someone they can touch anymore, not even emotionally. That's when it hits them hardest. They realize that even if they wanted to come back, they don't even know who you've become. That's terrifying for them. On WisdomWavesAura, we explore how to step into this kind of power, how to become someone who doesn't just walk away, but evolves beyond reach. Your silence isn't just a response, it's a transformation. Here's the kicker. You flip the narrative without saying a word. They thought they were the ones walking away. They thought you'd be the one hurting, but your silence rewrites the story. Without drama, without rage, without explanation, you turn the tables. It hits them in the quiet moments when their ego fades and the truth creeps in. The person they thought they could ignore becomes the one they can't stop thinking about. You didn't win by fighting, you won by disappearing gracefully. On WisdomWavesAura, we break down how to master this art of subtle power, how to let your absence tell a story they can't unhear. They'll scroll past your life one day and see you thriving without them, and that's when it stings. Speaking of thriving, let's talk about your glow. Your silence doesn't just make them wonder, it makes them watch. One day, they'll stumble across your life, and it'll be glowing without them. You're smiling, working on yourself, leveling up in peace. That moment hits like a punch to the gut. They were so sure they broke you, but you didn't just survive, you transformed. There's no coming back from that realization. On WisdomWavesAura, we're all about turning pain into power, and your glow is the ultimate proof. Your silence isn't just about them, it's about you becoming the best version of yourself. They'll see it, and it'll hurt because they know they're no longer part of it. Your silence doesn't just haunt them, it teaches them. At some point, they'll have to face it. They lost something real. Not because you told them, but because you showed them. Your absence becomes the lesson they weren't ready to learn. They'll try to distract themselves, replace you, pretend you didn't matter, but it never works. No one forgets the person who walked away with self-respect without begging or drama. You become the consequence they can't escape. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we talk about how to be that kind of for someone whose silence speaks louder than any words. They'll feel it every time they meet someone who doesn't come close to who you were. So, if you're sitting in silence right now, wondering if it's working, trust MIT is. In ways you'll never need to witness, they're feeling it. They might never say it, but your absence is shaking them to their core. You don't need to chase closure or demand answers. Your silence is the closure. Your peace is the answer. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we're here to remind you that sometimes doing nothing is the most powerful thing you can do. Drop "My silence speaks for me" in the comments below, and let's keep this energy going. Subscribe to Wisdom Waves Aura for more on how to reclaim your power and live your truth. Let's break it down one more time, because this is too good to miss. When you choose silence, you're not just stepping back, you're stepping up. You're taking back control, not by fighting, but by refusing to play their game. Every second you stay quiet, you're rewriting their story of you. They thought they knew you, but now they're questioning everything. Your silence isn't passive, it's active. It's a choice, it's power. It's you saying, "I'm worth more than your chaos." On Wisdom Waves Aura, we're all about embracing that kind of strength. It's not about revenge, it's about respect, self-respect. They'll feel the weight of your absence, and it'll hit harder than any words you could ever say. The beauty of silence is that it works without you having to lift a finger. You don't need to explain yourself or justify your worth. Your absence does that for you. They'll scroll through their memories, replaying every moment they took you for granted. They'll wonder what you're doing, who you're becoming, and why they didn't see it sooner. And the best part? You don't have to be there to see it. You're too busy building a life that doesn't need their validation. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we celebrate that kind of freedom, the kind that comes from letting go and letting your silence do the talking. If you're ready to embrace this power, to let your silence speak louder than any argument, then join us on Wisdom. We're here to guide you through the art of protecting your peace, owning your worth, and letting your absence be the loudest message you ever send. Your silence isn't just a response, it's a revolution. It's you choosing yourself over their noise. And trust me, they'll hear it, they'll feel it, and they'll never forget it. So, keep shining, keep growing, and let your silence be the storm that shakes their world. Subscribe to Wisdom Waves Aura, and let's keep this journey going together.